Hello Airhead lovers and welcome back to Airhead Barn. Yep, you are absolutely right. We have another project in our garage. Obviously that you were able to see from some of previous shooting, bike is non-runner. I needed to push it, but luckily I was able to score and find this bike really close to my place. Actually the whole thing started roughly 9 months ago, when a good friend of mine and also neighbor told me that his first neighbor has a bike in a garage that he wants to sell. At that point I was not too excited because you can find all kinds of bikes, you know, that people are selling, but he was moving and I asked him to give me some more details about bike, and he said he has no idea what the bike was, just that it's old BMW in orange color. And I always wanted to have Daytona orange R90S, and somehow that really rang a bell. I said, wow, that could be it. And I went there to check the bike, and what I found, bike was in really rough shape. Bike was sitting approximately 18 years. It was not ridden. And at that point we started negotiating price. Owner was encouraged by some of bring a trailer prices over there and really wanted to get a premium on this one, which I couldn't afford to pay. And just frankly honest, I mean, just being honest, I do not believe that bike was worth that much. And that's where we ended at that point. 3 months later, owner called me if I want to come again and see if a bike starts, and he would be willing to reduce the price and you know, to see what we are going to do with it. Somehow he was reluctant to put it, you know, on Craigslist and Marketplace and deal with all, you know, people over there. And what I figure out that he wants this bike, you know, to be ridden again and hopefully get restored. We also talked about different options if I restore it for him, but it seems since he is moving, he really wanted to sell the bike, but he didn't want to take it apart and sell parts, because he just didn't like that fact, which I really appreciate, even though that would probably give him the best, the biggest return for this. So second time, 3 months later, I came again. We tried to start the bike, and the bike did not want to fire. It was cranking, engine obviously not seized, you know, but it just didn't want to start. At that point I gave the owner the offer, and for him it seemed kind of too low. I told him to think about it, but my situation did not allow me to give more than that, and I also give him other options where he can reach out to some people that might be interested in this bike, so he can sell it for a better price. Again, I didn't hear from seller next 6 months, and basically mid this September he reached out to me. Currently my garage is kind of full of projects. I have another one that I want to work on, but this is something that I didn't want to let go this time. And he said he is willing to accept my offer if I want to come and get the bike. And yeah, that's how the story went. Now this bike is in a garage as non-runner. What are we going to do with her? Yeah, so first we need to see why she's not running. So in next video I can do actually troubleshooting to see what's wrong. You know, bike sitting for 18 years, probably we are talking about pretty low compression. That's my expectation. But in general, if it doesn't want to start, you know, you are looking at either, you know, gas problems, so gas is not coming to the cylinder, or ignition problems. So that's where we are going to be focused during that troubleshooting. After we are hopefully, you know, able to start the bike, next thing, since it was sitting for 18 years, it would be a good idea actually to reseal the whole bike. You know, we will see what the compression test will say, if anything needs to be changed, but at minimum at this point I'll need to reseal the bike. And during that process, since you basically need to open everything, we will examine all components and see what it's necessary to change. For instance, if I want to do resealing or reshimming and reshimming of gearbox, since I'm opening anyway, I can check the status, condition of all bearings and gears and see if anything needs to be changed. Probably swing arm bearings, steering column bearings, wheel bearings, all of those are going to be replaced. And I hope we don't have some, major part that needs to be replaced, but actually, we will see down the road. Regarding total restoration, at this point, I'm not ready for it. My situation does not allow it, and it will probably stay in cosmetically in a shape like it's now. It's a bit rough, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. So I'm okay keeping it like this. Some people call it patina. I say that patina is a great thing when you are broke, because this paint job is crazy expensive. I got a couple of quotes and they're all over the place. Two of them are from very respectable painters that know their work. I'll just mention that hire was $7,500. At this point I cannot do it, but I'll keep it open as an idea for the future if I want to do complete restoration. I would also like to hear your opinion. How would you like to see this bike? But at least the nearby future, what's going to bring us is mechanical restoration of the engine, like a basically functional restoration. We are not going to change everything on this bike, but just necessary things, and make it a runner again, so we can ride it. That said, there are also some aftermarket parts on this bike. At the first point, I'm going to keep them. You see that bike has a Lester wheels. So far I'm okay with them, but if I would want to do like complete restoration, those would be probably replaced with the spoked wheels. Also, it has a really nice and comfortable Corbin seat, but it's not original, so the original would need to go back, and there are some other things as well. Okay, folks, I'll shoot this mechanical restoration or functional restoration of a bike. Things that I did with R75/7 I'm going to skip. There is really no point of going through the whole restoration or rebuild of a gearbox and final drive, because they are essentially the same as R75/7. I'll just report shortly my end result, what I find out during that. Okay, folks, I hope you will find this project interesting as well, and please stay tuned.